So for this behind the image, we're going to talk about the photograph of, well, it's called Caught in the Rain, and you've got a little boy running across the beach with a little girl sitting all alone. How did this one come about? How did you find this one?
It was one of my days wandering up and down the promenade at Weston-super-Mare, and I think it must have been late in the afternoon. This was like 20 years ago. I was shooting film.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I was wandering Weston-super-Mare, and it was a particularly bad day, not bad day, it was kind of slightly cloudy and kind of a nice day for photography, but I hadn't really got any pictures. I was kind of frustrated that day. I just didn't see anything. And actually, I was just walking back to my car because it was a long drive from where we are to Weston-super-Mare. It's got a couple of hour drive, so I was on my way back, and it was starting to rain as well, and everybody was leaving the beach. And I loved this image because there was a plastic kind of ice cream cone sitting in the middle of the beach, and there was Weston-super-Mare Pier beyond, and it was just a wonderful image, but it was nothing without anybody there. And I was just very lucky. I'm walking home and there was these two kids playing, and I say it was starting to rain, and the boy got up and started running, and I just quickly snapped a picture without setting anything. So I was very lucky. Exposure was okay, and it was in focus and everything, and it was just caught on the fly as I was walking back. And I processed the negatives later and looked at it and thought, and I was very lucky. That was the one photograph I'd taken that day, and I really liked it. I've always liked that photograph. I don't know what it is. It's just the little girl being left alone and the boy running away, and the dark cloud, and this ice cream cone sitting out in the distance in this beach, this empty beach.
I always wonder if that little girl ever got home.
Yeah, really, yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was a lovely image. It's very kind of surreal, this sort of emptiness.
And are there any special things that you have to do when you're actually shooting in the rain? How do you protect the camera?
No, I don't know. I mean, it's not really a problem. Not with a stills camera like that. I mean, I usually have it under my coat. I always wear a jacket, so it's usually inside my jacket, and I'll take it out of my jacket when I take
So you're that
pictures.
Strange man with a long jacket that
With
just
a bump,
goes like this.
It's got a bump in it.
Takes a photograph.
Yeah.
No, one that mothers get very upset
You
about.
tried not to do that because that can look a bit suspicious, really.
Is it difficult to capture actual raindrops in a photograph?
You can't see the raindrops in
No.
there. Yeah. Well,
That's why I'm asking you.
It's a matter of the light, isn't it? I mean, when you're filming, you often have to put a lamp on the rain just so you can see the raindrops.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like doing it because it usually looks fake if you do that. But I mean, if you want to see the raindrops.
Well, and after they spend that much money on that
Yeah,
rig
really,
to do the rain, they're going to
yeah.
see those raindrops.
Yeah. And you keep saying, I can't see the rain, so they put more and more rain on this rig.
Right, so you can't see the paragraph.
Pouring down the road, there's like Amazon flooding down the road, and you still can't see it through the camera. Yeah, it's kind of funny. It shows more when the sun's out, when you see a lot of films and they do the rain and the sun's out. Yeah, I can see the rain really well, but it kind of doesn't look very real.
Are there any differences in shooting rain in stills or in motion pictures besides the fact that you've always got a light that you can drag out in motion pictures? But
No, I mean, not the photographs I take. I mean, no, not for me. I mean,
yeah. Well, the thing about rain is it guarantees you a nice cloudy sky, right?
yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
you
I like photographing the seaside when it's cloudy and when it's quiet. I mean, I find it very hard photographing crowds of people. I mean, I don't like crowds, just personally. I get very claustrophobic in crowds, so I don't like being amongst crowds. So, but I love the seaside when it's kind of empty, and when it's cloudy and nearly raining. It's the best time for me.
Isn't it also a little bit easier too, because in crowds maybe someone will see you take that picture and object, I mean, that's the
Yeah,
thing that I
now-
would fear of going out and
nowadays.
taking pictures that people would
Yeah,
yell at me.
nowadays, talking to Martin Parr the other day, he said in the 80s it was somewhat easier.
But now the mothers don't want to get so much.
Well, I know, it's
Because they
it's
use it the
rightly,
wrong way,
they're
yeah.
rightly so.
Yeah.
They don't know who you are taking pictures of their family or whatever. I mean, yeah, that's fair enough, isn't it? There's a whole privacy thing now that didn't really exist in the 80s.
Yeah.
Or even when I took that picture, 2001 probably it was.
But it's also funny because I think people, because of cell phones and everything having cameras in it, I think they are a little bit more used to it, because the other day on the beach, there were those bunch of metal detectors, and just because of having seen that TV series of detectors, I wanted to send a picture to someone of them. And I've never done this before, but I just walked up to a group of 3 men standing by themselves and boldly took a picture of them, and then thought, oh, what am I going to do when they hit me?
Yeah, I think
And
when
they were
people
okay
are doing
about it.
something, it's
Yeah.
easier, If,
Well, they were just standing talking.
if it's a carnival or even at the fun fair or something, I sometimes I like photographing fun fairs, and it's usually much easier. The only people that sometimes object to the people running the rides, not the
Don't slow up the
not
lines.
the people that are enjoying it. But people have got far more sort of conscious of it now.
But in that case, you are photographing groups of people, and there is something about groups of people that is interesting in photographs, because you see
Yeah.
the interaction.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to photograph the Academy Awards. You know what I mean? That would be really great, wouldn't it? But they would never let you do it.
Not the way you want to.
My photographs might be a little too,
Cynical.
cynical, probably.
Well, I think what you really want is to be invisible, right? And then you can
Yeah,
walk
but
right in.
it's a pity really, because I am trying to capture a moment and a moment in time, and I think I'm not saying it's I'm not saying it's an important historical record or anything like that, but all I'm trying to do is just photograph some moment for posterity, for myself, but also as a record. And it's a shame people are so so easily get upset,
So defensive,
and defensive. Just taking an image that's trying to, probably celebrate as much as anything else.
In that particular photograph, it's really interesting because it's a very, very dark sky, but there's this wonderful light sky around the building on the pier, so it sort of highlights that building, which is such an interesting old building anyway. Did you see that at the time, or was it?
Went down after that, though. Yeah.
You see, it shouldn't photograph such.
Yeah, it's a pity there was a big.
No, it's a good thing you did.
A big fire soon after, and so now they've rebuilt it, but it's not quite the same.
But did you see that when you were photographing it?
Yeah, I mean, I did. That was the whole thing about the day. Really, I was frustrated because it was the landscape was wonderful, but I couldn't find anything that would sort of tie it together. And it was just the 2 kids on the beach that actually made it make sense.
Yeah, you just got lucky.
Yeah.
And that's what I guess
It
taking
is.
photographs
It
of
is.
is. Unless you're staging things, and then it doesn't feel as real, because it's not as real. And it's not what you want to do
I would
anyway.
never do that, because it's sort of it's not that much fun.
Yeah.
It's
It's the
the
thrill
joy
of
and the thrill of finding it.
Yeah.
It's finding something that's real, and actually that moment of reality that will never happen again. I just find that really extraordinary.